Hey, ioStux here. I'd like to officially announce the Black Friday slash Christmas slash December slash end of year sale. You know what? This year has been pretty shit, so let's just do all the sales. Starting now, the 27th of November until the 1st of January, sessions have a flat 50% discount. Whether you play on console or PC, speak English or German, play Overwatch or Valorant, head over to ioStux.com and secure your sessions. Keep in mind that purchased sessions last indefinitely, so you can stock up on sessions for cheap using the discount, and then use them throughout the year without having to worry about them expiring or anything. Whether you want to get a session for yourself or a loved one, the feeling of getting better at something you're passionate about is one of the best gifts you can give. The reviews speak for themselves. Can you put your speakers in a location that is distant from the microphone?
Oh, can you hear my speaker right now?
I can hear you, but your speaker's louder.
Yeah. Let me turn on USB mix minus. I have headphones on, but I have you plugged into my podcasting setup. USB reset. Sorry about that.
It's okay. And let me quickly get everything set up properly here.
USB mix minus is on. Interesting. Let me. Just out of curiosity, can you still hear Overwatch?
This sounds super shit, but I cannot hear your Overwatch anymore.
I turned on the crisp thing. I have USB mix minus turned on as well, but
well, Crisp is very good at getting rid of background noise and any sort of detail in your voice, but it's okay. I can hear you fine. Don't worry. It does.
Awesome.
It does the job. So that's very, very good. So before we get into, or do you want to say something?
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say thank you for taking the time.
What do you mean taking the time? You paid me for it. This is not me giving food to the homeless people. You know?
For everything. Basically.
Oh, okay, I get it. This is like general appreciation. Well, I appreciate your general appreciation, but you don't need to appreciate the fact that I'm here talking to you right now. It's my pleasure. Anyways, before we get into this, everything you say, do, or show me during the session will be completely confidential unless otherwise stated. Number two, if you have if you want, you can record the session, but my personal recommendation is to write notes instead, because it's much easier to go over notes than to watch a recording. And number three, the mantra that I follow with these sessions is once a coachee, always a coachee, which means that even after the session is done, if you have any questions, just send me a DM and I'll get back to you. And you can even send me like replay codes and timestamps and whatnot. As a general rule of thumb, if it takes 10 minutes, it's okay. If it takes 10 hours, it's a little less okay. Okay?
Yeah.
Very good. Now, you probably already know how this goes. Since you have multiple sessions, the first session is going to be kind of a hybrid between us talking, so I can figure out who the heck you are, and going over the VOD in the latter half. And then session 2 and 3 are usually the full-on hardcore, coaching VOD review sessions, like the traditional ones that you are more familiar with, probably. Do you have any questions, or are you good to go?
No, not at all. Let's do it.
Very good. Then I'm going to ask my favorite question that I always ask. Why are you playing this game seriously?
It is... in a weird sadistic way, a good way to calm down. I'm at my computer working 99% of the time. And when I'm not dealing with cooking for the wife or taking care of the dog, Overwatch is my, Overwatch is the thing. And that may sound like I'm not taking it seriously, but in the same way that I garden, I take that shit seriously too.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you take it serious, but you don't take it like,
So I don't like being bad at anything, right? I don't like being bad at cooking. I don't like being bad at, writing or anything like that. So even things that I take a passion in as like a side project, I spend a lot of time in, right? And other things that I was able to get really good at, like, learning Portuguese or cooking or whatever. Overwatch is one of those things that I can't seem to scratch that itch. I There's a skill level that I can't seem to reach that I find unacceptable.
Well, I mean, you wrote here that you're bronze, and bronze is
The worst.
there are a lot of ways to describe bronze, but all of them could get me banned from YouTube, so I'm gonna refrain from doing that. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things that you shouldn't tell anyone. But that's what we're here for. Hopefully, we're gonna be able to get you out of there. Just a heads up, your playtime kind of sucks, but it's good enough for your goals, which is get out of bronze. Obviously, if you climb and then you want to push into like masters or whatever, you might have to add in a few extra hours. But if your goal is just to get to like gold and platinum, which I think is a good, short-term goal, at least for now, then your playtime is perfectly fine. What isn't fine is the way that you use that playtime. So you wrote down, so those 10 to 15 hours, I'm assuming that's not just like raw gameplay, that also includes, whenever you do the skirmish and the quick play and the aim training for a few minutes and whatnot, and then it like totals 10 to 15 hours.
Yeah.
So if you could give me a percentage, how much of those 10 to 15 hours is you actually playing ranked, including queue times, because those are out of your control?
It varies. Like this week, my time was down a little bit because I switched to a new time. But generally speaking, it's about maybe 60%.
60.
Yeah. And this is, I don't have a very good reason for it, but I do have a reason for it. In fact, it's a very bad reason for it. On the occasion where I'm getting rolled by like multiple games in a row, even at my low of a rank, there is a loser's remorse attached to it that you don't get with quick play. So I'll play 3 competitive games and either lose 2 of the 3 or lose 3 of the 3, whatever. Regardless of whether I think I'm doing well, it doesn't really matter. Then I'll switch to quick play, or I'll jump in a group with some friends and see what happens. And then in other cases, like I have been trying to increase that percentage, but there's other.
I hate that you use the word "try" to increase that percent. What is there to try? This isn't like something that should be difficult,
Yeah. There's certainly an emotional wall, right? And breaking down that is something, but.
So,
And the thing is, I know. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I know that at this low of a rank, I could continue to play nothing but competitive, and win, lose, it doesn't really matter at that point because I'm at the bottom floor. I can't really go further down.
You can always go further down. Okay. Here's the thing. You said that you don't like being bad at things. And
well, for
yes.
long. I mean, yeah.
Well, for long,
Everyone's
but well, of course. But I mean, the reason you want to get better at things is so that you're not bad at them anymore. Correct?
Well, I want to get better. It's more enjoyable when I'm good at things, right? I don't try to get better at gardening anymore because or cooking anymore because I practiced it for a long time and I got good at it. I still do it all the time and I enjoy it very much, but I wouldn't call myself a bad cook, right? I'm trying to get to that point where I can really enjoy it.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is if you want to get to that point, then why do you not do what will contribute to you getting to that point, which would be playing ranked?
Yeah, I think like frustration is a big part of that, right? And knowing that I'm bad, like there's this weird thing where I can't tell anyone else that I'm bronze, right? But
I mean, that was a joke. You can. It's not like you're going to be.
Oh yeah, I know. But like I know that I'm in bronze, so there's this frustration with myself as well that I'm like, well, I am potentially ruining other games, and it's not this
Wait, what do you mean ruining other games?
well, if I am doing really poorly in one game, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm straight up just throwing. I'm gonna take a break.
But it's bronze.
Yeah, everyone's throwing. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm just a little confused, you know.
Uh-huh.
Um, you know, this is like a third grader saying that he doesn't like group projects because he doesn't know what he's doing. Like no one does. That's the point.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like that line of thinking is just, it's very difficult to phrase these sentences without, becoming offensive. But like that's a little not very
I agree.
well. There's like a big portion of your brain being unused when you use that mindset. Let's phrase it that way. You need to be selfish. Like when you improve at cooking, the worst thing that can happen is that you maybe waste a little bit of money on ingredients, or maybe you feel bad about starving children in Africa, or maybe your kids were looking forward to lasagna, but now they need to eat chicken nuggets. That's about the extent of the consequences of you fucking up at cooking. And dare I say, those consequences I would be more worried about than being a contributing factor to a loss in a 800 elo game in Overwatch.
Oh yeah,
You know,
it's worse than that now. I've been dropping. It's like 580 right now, I
God
think.
bless your soul. But I'm just confused why the consequences of getting better at cooking, for example, because there are consequences. I'm sure that when you started cooking, it wasn't exactly like
Oh yeah, I messed up constantly, and I still do. Like I just ruined an entire rack of lamb. I was like, well, okay, we're ordering pizza. So that was like a big loss. But the thing
exactly,
is,
and
I didn't think about it the next day.
I think the consequences of that, like lamb isn't the cheapest. I mean, it's not like super expensive, but you know what, like the consequences there are bigger than the only thing that you lose after like losing. You don't lose anything. It's not like you wasted your time either when you lose that game, because the point at that elo isn't really to win games. Like wins at that elo are so ridiculously irrelevant. The only thing you actually care about is the experience that you gain
Yeah, yeah,
and
and that's
actually
actually
getting better. So yeah, this entire
that's another.
mindset is not computing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Uh, So that leads into like another point, like the way that I end up playing. So I usually like to play support main. I've been putting a lot of time into Mercy and Moira. A couple seasons ago, I took a year or two break. I was doing Diva and Lucio, uh, and it even now it still seems like there's days where not even days. Let's say at the beginning of a game, I'm playing on like I'm using corners. I'm playing on the cart in a decent way, in a safe way. I'm popping off. I'm doing really good. Halfway through the game, I get scared or something like that. I don't know. Maybe my anxiety goes up, which never happens in anything else or any other game, in my opinion. But for this game, I'm like, oh
Because
shit,
you
gotta
feel
go.
responsible for some reason.
Yeah, I'm not really
Like you
sure
you,
why
you, you
either.
think you like it's stressful for you. It's a bronze ranked game because you don't feel like this in quick play. Maybe a little bit, but you don't feel as responsible for it. Or when
Oh
you're
no,
when
yeah,
you're messing
yeah,
up
no.
in like in a free for all lobby or a skirmish or something, like you don't feel bad there, you know. Like
Mm,
for me personally, okay, playing when I was improving, playing a free for all was more stressful than playing a ranked game because in a ranked game I had like other people on the team. I was one part of it all. Whether we won or lost wasn't entirely in my control. I could influence it, but it's not like fully in my control. But like in a free for all, that is stressful because if I suck, I suck. I don't have teammates who can carry me or who I can fall back on. you know
yeah. Mm,
but for you it's kind of the opposite because you feel like you owe them something, like, oh, you know what, if they would have had, like, here's the thing you need to understand. If they wouldn't have had you on their team, they would have had another 500 SR player on your team, and I don't think you fully grasp how unbelievably shit 500 SR actually is. Like,
mm,
you're going to look back on your gameplay and you're going to, like, again, I can't say anything that wouldn't be like ridiculously offensive, but you're not going to have very positive thoughts about it, okay?
Yeah.
You're going to have some fundamental doubts about your mental capacity at the time, but which makes sense, because this isn't like an issue of you not being smart or anything. This is, oh my god, who the fuck is inviting me at 11 p.m.?
Yeah.
It is Pot Phoenix, my stoner friend, who I haven't seen in a very long time. Oh, I thank you for the invite, but I am going to put myself as appear offline. Okay, there we go.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna let my dog in really quick. It'll take
Oh,
a
yeah,
second.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay. But yeah, okay. Let's get back on track. So basically, you're feeling responsible for the outcome, or you feel like you owe them something, you know. But I think the worst part about Overwatch is that it's always easier for people with a good mindset to see the flaws in their own gameplay over the flaws in their teammates. Whereas for people with a shit mindset, it's the exact opposite. For them, it's easier to see the flaws in their teammates, and they don't really see their own flaws, so they think that they're like hot shit and that they deserve to climb. But obviously, you don't do that. But in reality, you kind of need like a balance. You know, you need to understand that you're shit, but you also need to understand that your teammates are shit. Like, you're all shit together. And again, it's not like you're stupid. I mean, you know, you improved at cooking, you learned languages, you have a podcast. So, I don't think that you're stupid. Like, you seem fairly well smarted, whatever. But but your mindset towards the game is a little Neanderthal, you know?
Mm-hmm. And it's funny, I went through a bit of a renaissance period where and it's funny, maybe I was even higher SR at the time, but I was sure that I was better than when I was at, than where I was, right? And, you know, I did have bad games, and I would own up to bad games, and I was never toxic. I was never like, you guys are shit, unless someone really was just straight up throwing. And throwing, like seeing another thrower in a 500 game, I feel like is something special, right? Like when a 500 can identify a thrower, you know, there's something there. But I went through a renaissance period. I was like, the only way I am really going to get out of bronze is if outside of like trying to do team things, just don't give a shit what anyone else does.
I mean, yeah, basically, like, bronze is deathmatch. There is no objective, there is no teamwork. It literally is just deathmatch, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like, honestly, the problem that I'm having here, right? So I want to make sure that, you know, you're gonna go out into the wild yonder, and you're gonna be able to improve. And I feel like the issue isn't that you don't know. I mean, you don't know what's wrong. You know, I asked you for your biggest weakness, and you wrote down aim, positioning, game sense. You know, like, what kind of answer is that? You know, like.
Yeah.
What's 2 + 2? And then you just start listing every single fucking number that exists. Like, that's not an answer, you know? Like, I don't know. It could be 1. It could be 2. It could be 3. It could be 4. Maybe it's 5. I don't know. You know? That's basically what your answer is. So you don't know what the problem is. Okay? Mm-hmm. And the reason why that's concerning is because as you climb to higher ratings, problems tend to become a little bit more... more difficult to spot, a little minor, you know, and a little bit more advanced, because you need to optimize more. In bronze, mistakes are generally very, very general. Like, if you look at your gameplay and you look at a high-level player's gameplay, you know, you said that you're like watch YouTube content, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you submit VODs to Reddit for reviews. By the way, don't do that, please. Like, before you do that, just send me a DM from now on, because your mileage may vary with random people's advice. And usually the people who go to educational Overwatch subreddits aren't the people qualified to give advice on educational Overwatch subreddits, because they usually just play the game. And you know, with the YouTube content, I don't know what you watched, but generally speaking, the difference between a high-level player's gameplay and your gameplay should be very obvious, which should make it very obvious what the differences are. So, have you ever seen those differences? Like, when you watch high-level gameplay, is it obvious to you that, like, they're doing something very different? Or are you like, you know, they're better, yes, but I don't know why they're better?
Well, I know it depends on the person that I'm watching. I am sorry for not remembering names. I'm exhausted, but I watched this Mercy main on YouTube. I believe top 500.
Mean Eevee?
Not Eevee. What's the name? It's a guy.
I think I know. I think I know who you're talking to, but I forget the name.
So that's rude. I can't. I'm trying to find the best way to describe it.
It's okay. I probably know who you mean. I just forget the names because I don't care that much. But yeah, go ahead.
They do play a lot more aggressive than I do on Mercy, right? And I've taken a couple tips from them, but generally I think they are switching between, you know, damage boost and healing a lot more often.
Listen here. I'm gonna give you. I hate giving this piece of advice. I genuinely fucking hate giving this piece of advice because it is so ridiculously, like, wrong. You know, like, okay, the piece of advice that I'm giving you is a little bit like when a doctor says, you know, like, I need to amputate your leg. You know, like, it's very situational and kind of a last ditch effort. Okay. But as unfortunate as it sounds, do not touch Mercy with a 10-foot pole until you're at least platinum.
Yeah,
if not even higher.
I played Mercy in a couple days for that. I started getting that feeling.
She does not teach you any skills that are relevant, and climbing out of bronze as Mercy is obviously doable, right? But if I take a top 500 player and I put him into bronze as Mercy, he's going to climb, but only because he's going to be using his pistol half the time, and because he's literally going to play 10 games in a row without dying once. And even that is not going to guarantee him a 100% win rate.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate reality with Mercy, because Mercy is a character that you can't really have a big impact with until your opponents become better, because the main skill as Mercy that differentiates you and allows you to climb is how good you are at, you know, staying alive. But in bronze, being able to stay alive is not a skill. It's so do not touch her. Seriously, just play Moira or Ana or something that has some way of actually dealing damage or even killing stuff.
Yeah, that's actually, so maybe not in the last day or two, but I was at I think I was at 54% win percentage with Moira. The last day or two, as I was changing my sleep schedule, that dropped to 47, unfortunately. But that's just because I haven't played many games with her this competitive season. But my eliminations are almost carrying now. So my average is like in bronze average is 16 eliminations with Moira, in addition to being gold healing for the most part, right? And that seems to be a good place to be in for me, at least moving forward, trying to get out of bronze, because no one is, like, DPS is damn near useless.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so even the occasional pick, or like being able to put a little bit of pressure on the back line, no one's punishing me for it for the most part, right? So I can kind of go in, be a little cheeky, get back out, heal my team up a little bit.
Yeah, the best way that I can phrase it is that in order to climb out of bronze, you shouldn't strive to be a silver player. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't aim to be a little bit better, to like improve one step at a time. Usually you don't really climb from, like, in terms of skill level, people don't climb from bronze to silver. You know, maybe they get like a win streak or something that gets them to the silver, but like the ranks there kind of merge. But if someone genuinely improves, usually they skyrocket up into like the low 2000s in terms of skill rating.
I do have a question on that, and that's just
Yes.
me being inexperienced. But at this point, it seems like even if I get 3 wins in a row, I don't gain that much SR,
Well,
right?
yeah, because you're shit, so you don't get a lot of SR. If you're good,
I
you
don't
get
know
more SR.
actually. I don't think I understand exactly how it's calculated, but that's something I could just Google.
No, it's MMR. If you beat good players, your MMR goes up. If your MMR is higher than your skill rating, then you gain more SR for a win than you lose for a loss. If your MMR is lower than your skill rating, it's the other way around.
Interesting. Okay.
And your MMR is very, very volatile. So your SR can be at like 500, and if you win 3 games, then your SR could be, 560 or something. But if those games were very difficult games against good players, your MMR could be at 700 or 800. So well above your SR. And that means that if you win more games, you're going to gain a lot of SR for those games. Like, it's going to get higher and higher and higher. But if you lose games, eventually your MMR could drop below your skill rating. So as your skill rating approaches your MMR, you're going to climb slower.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense?
Yeah. And is MMR some statistic that I can find?
No, it stands for matchmaking rating. It's basically the number that the system uses to make sure, because skill rating is a very stable metric, because it would be very frustrating for players if in the span of one day they would climb up to diamond and then all of a sudden they're in gold, and then they're back in diamond and then they're in gold, and like just back and forth.
Yeah.
So skill rating is like a more stable metric, but it's not being used for matchmaking. So one example is, do you know about skill decay or skill rating decay?
No.
If you're above diamond, so above 3000 SR, if you don't play for an extended period of time, your skill rating is going to decay towards 3000. It can't go any lower, but if you're a 4000 SR player, you don't play for a few weeks, you're going to be down at 3000. But your skill rating is going to be down at 3000, not your MMR. So it's basically just visual. If you queue for a game, everyone else in the lobby is going to be GM.
That's interesting. Okay. So, and you still have the ability to get your ranking. You have the ability to raise your ranking back up quickly, right?
Yeah, like you get like 50 or 60 SR for a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the same for when a season restarts, you have to, I don't know what the max starting SR is, but you get dropped back down, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Although they've changed and tuned that like all the time, so I don't know what the current state on that is, because the reality is that it's like kind of irrelevant. Like, it's not really useful information to have for you, because ultimately you just need to get better so that you can beat better players, and that's going to raise your MMR, and that's going to increase the amount of SR that you get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So in order, like when you are at 3000 SR, but you have the MMR of a GM player, you can get back to GM with like a 40% win rate. Okay.
Yeah, which makes total sense. Yeah. And now, I had a second answer to your previous question, which is like, what do I see other people doing that I am just terrible at? And that is communication in game. Generally, like, my map sense doesn't exist, so being like Lucio is at this specific location doesn't really work. Or just making general call outs outside of like there's someone in the back line. But that doesn't matter because nobody talks in bronze either.
Yeah. Does that answer your question? You're in bronze. What are you doing in voice chat?
That's fair, actually. It is very toxic.
Like, you don't buy Nikes for your 6-month-old son, Like, he can't walk, let alone run. And you don't talk to your teammates because they're not going to be able to hear you. Like, they can't hear the footsteps of a Reaper walking up to them. Do you think they speak English?
Oh my God, I was looking through VODs and like 2 times Reaper just kind of walked right up to me and I didn't notice. It's
Okay,
so bad.
you're digressing. Listen, you don't talk to these people. Imagine they're not human. Okay, like as harsh as it sounds, distance yourself from them
Mhm.
because there are people that you don't want to like. You don't even want to acknowledge that you're in a game with them. You know, because
Yeah.
most of the people down there are either there because they're intentionally throwing games, because they have some sort of physical disability that prevents them from being competitive, or they're like 12-year-olds who
Mhm.
play, who play nothing but FIFA, and then they play like 1 hour of Overwatch a week.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
basically what bronze is, unfortunately. So talking to those people is not a good use of your time in the slightest.
Yep.
Okay. Before we get into the VOD, one curiosity question. I asked you, how did you find out about the coaching? You said Reddit, Overwatch Academy. I think you meant Overwatch University. And also,
Overwatch.
I
And
haven't
I've seen.
posted in that subreddit in a long time. How did you find out about the coaching through the subreddit?
So I was in another thread. I can't remember. I could look through my comments,
Oh,
but I was like, all right, well,
yeah.
I'm not getting anything good from the VOD reviews here. I think I did one or two. What other options do I have? And somebody recommended you and like 2 or 3 other people. I looked through your videos and I liked them the most. So
My ego is inflated. You can give me the replay code now.
okay. This is the only one I have where I'm a Moira. Oops, no, go back. No, don't do it. Sorry.
Now arriving at shield.
Oh my god. Okay, you need to mute your game audio because A, we don't need it for the VOD review, and B, it's jarring.
Yep. I have no idea why it's playing. I have an idea though. Copy. 1 second. I'm going to go back to Discord and we're going to switch my mic settings. Once I figure out how to do that. Voice and audio. Input device is going to be Pro Stereo. How's that? Can you hear the game at all?
If the game is playing sound, I cannot hear the sound.
Let's find out. How about that?
Not hearing anything except your voice.
Perfect. Okay.
Very good.
Yep. Okay. Now sending you the code. I want to pin this one as well so I can take notes and
Thank you.
put
Import.
that later.
Screen share. If you double click on my name in the voice channel, you should be able to see the game. Ilios, very nice. I haven't seen this map in a long time.
One of my favorites, actually.
People are just giving me shit maps like Junkertown and Eichenwald, and I'm getting sick of it. They're like,
Keep in mind that even compared to whatever I consider good Moira play, this is not that.
my expectations for this are ridiculously low. Like, I've seen this. I went to the dentist yesterday, and I was very worried, because my teeth are a shit show. I'm like afraid of dentists, so I haven't been there in like 8 years, and my teeth are like, as expected. But he was like, dude, don't be nervous. I've seen teeth that are like, you don't even want to know what they look like. That's where that's kind of what this is. Like, you think your gameplay is bad. I've seen some shit. Okay, I have PTSD from this job. So,
well, hopefully
this
I'm not
is,
the worst, and if I am the worst, I deserve a trophy. of some
You already threw a damage orb. Get this man to platinum. And then you're healing your full HP teammates for some reason.
Yeah,
You threw another.
need
Like,
to-
see, this is already good. Why did you get coaching? Like, you're. I mean, you're spending a lot of time with your team for some reason. Like, okay, here's the thing. Listen. Okay. Again, this is gonna sound like really weird, but you want to make sure that. So yes, technically Moira is a healer. Okay, let's go back. I need to think of like how I can phrase this properly, because the problem is that a lot of the concepts that you need in like low elo, you need to understand them very, very well, because otherwise they can cause bad habits later down the line. Okay? So the problem here actually is that you're not playing aggressive enough. The reason why you want to play aggressive here is because it draws a lot of attention your way. The reason why that is good is because it draws attention away from your teammates, which makes it easier for them to push onto the point.
Yeah.
When you are playing with your team, then all of the attention that is directed at you is also directed at your team because you're right next to them. That makes it very difficult for your teammates to advance and get on the point. Now,
is that something you would always recommend? Like, Moira's healing distance is lower than I would like it to be.
Yes, because you don't give a shit about healing here. When your teammates are this far back, they're not going to take a lot of damage in the first place.
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised.
Okay, your job is basically to just farm your ultimate as quickly as possible and be a pain in the ass to the enemy team. Yep. And right here, like, you are farming your ultimate and you are being a little bit annoying, you know, which is good. But the problem is that you're not really, again, you're not being a huge threat to the enemy team.
Yeah, I should be sitting on that Mercy right there.
Basically, you can, for example, you can play from over here and you can just apply pressure from here. Okay. And then the second thing, and this is again something that you just need to focus on for like a week or two and then it'll become second nature. You need to look at your HP and make sure that when you're low HP, you know, you chill or you get to a health pack. So in this situation, you have 40 HP. Ideally, you want to just get to a health pack. In this case, it's kind of awkward because there's like an echo behind you. But ideally, you just go into this room, you take the large health pack, so you're back to full HP. Or if you have another support, you can also try to rely on them. But again, in low elo, it's like a little bit more difficult. Actually, this time you
and I'd shift.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you're basically the problem is you're low HP and you run, you know, you're stood here when you're low HP, and this is okay. But then you walk in front of the enemies, and that's not okay. Yeah, and I mean, you heard the rockets from the echo, and you just didn't shift. That's kind of a...
Yeah. I think there's a sound association thing that I need to figure out. And it's funny, I'm using my like podcasting headphones for play, but they don't have great like sound location.
Well, you don't give a shit about location. You just hear the sound effect from like the
and then you shift.
Sticks,
you just need to shift.
And you just shift. Yeah. In general, you don't shift as a reaction to something in specific. You just shift whenever you poop your pants. And when I'm 40%, like right here, when you're this low HP and you hear a sound, I would poop my pants and press shift.
Yep.
Like,
that's fair.
Yeah. Don't react to something, like just look at your HP and then shift to safety when you're low HP.
Yeah, at that point, all I was doing is feeding. I'll charge that echo.
But yeah, right there, honestly, just try to experiment more with off-angling and kind of being annoying, because that's really your strongest weapon. Like, people in this rating get, like, everyone has ADHD. They get distracted very easily. If there's a Moira on the side just being annoying, they're all going to turn around for you, which is what you want, because then they're not looking at your teammates.
Yep. I don't even know what the hell I was thinking here, or the rest of my team was thinking. It was very bizarre looking.
You're kind of scared, you know, just push up. Like, you're waiting for your teammates. Like, you're playing very disciplined, but again, you're in bronze, you can't play disciplined. You need to like really, really push the limits and see what you can get away with. Because right now you're just waiting for your teammates to do something and you can't do that. Like, you need to take matters into your own hands.
Yep.
Like, you can, in this elo, you can literally 1v1 squishies. Like, if there's a Genji in front of you, you can basically 1v1 him because of the healing that you get. But yeah, you're playing very, very scared and very, very, I need to heal my team. And that just doesn't... I mean, you can see literally nothing is dying. See, like, he hooks you and he can't kill you.
Yeah.
Okay, you get your ultimate eventually, you use it, that's also okay. But see, like, again, with your ultimate, you're focusing so much on healing your teammates, which normally is correct. But again, this is low elo.
Yeah.
In low elo, this isn't correct.
I try to get like a 50-50 mixture of like healing teammates and damaging enemies, but then they all got not grabbed, whatever this ult's called.
Beat. Yeah, but again, don't worry about the Lucio beat. Like, literally, there's an echo in Zenyatta form. I don't know why she shows Zenyatta. Just laser him down. Just get a kill.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I see 3 red, like 3 half-dead people. I was like, all right, well, let's focus on healing. But yeah, you're right. I should have just dove in. That Orisa probably wasn't going to die immediately.
Yeah, and again, the important thing is I need you to understand why to play this way. Because the advice that I'm giving you right now is like genuinely shit advice. Like this is bronze advice. It's literally just advice so you can get out of bronze. Because bronze doesn't really like teach you. You can't play the game properly in bronze. Right? So it's not like in high elo you don't want to apply pressure as Moira. It's just that the game is a lot tighter there. So you don't need to play as aggressively in order to apply pressure. You don't need to apply as much pressure. But in low elo, you really, I don't know why you used the healing orb there. I think you missed it.
It's funny. I saw this right before I sent it over to you, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw the healing orb. I'm going to dive in there, right? And then I saw the hog, and I stopped. I was like, oh shit, there's a hog.
What do you mean throw the healing orb and then dive in there?
So I was going to try to put pressure on the point. See, we're at 94. I was like, all right, I'm going to sit on the point with my healing orb. And then, yeah, it didn't work out that way. I was trying to do like a 5,000 IQ.
No, at this point, it's already over. We can skip this.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you're on Mercy here. This is going to be a huge waste of time.
I don't know if I think I switched off Mercy. I can't remember.
Okay. Because, yeah, like, all you can do is just try not to die. Like, res people on cooldown, heal people when they need it. And that's basically it. Again, that's why playing, like, climbing out of bronze as a tank and support is very easy if you play incorrectly. Or not incorrectly, but if you play very, very dirty. And you like, this is kind of my big message to you. You need to understand that a lot of the content that you see on YouTube, for example, this is going to sound like kind of harsh, but the reality is that we do not make content for bronze players. Because there aren't a lot of bronze players, and the few bronze players that do exist don't go to that effort to watch a YouTube guide. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, usually the type of person that would watch a YouTube guide wouldn't be in bronze. They would be a little bit more dedicated and a little higher elo. So you make up a very, very minor percentage of the player base, which means that creating content aimed at players like you is not really viable because it wouldn't get a lot of views, and we just can't really afford to do it. Most content is aimed at the average gold to platinum player trying to push into diamond and masters. That's what most content is aimed at. So they teach you how to play the game correctly, how Overwatch works. But in this low elo, you need to have a more fundamental understanding of the rules so you know how to break them, because you need to break them in order to climb out of this elo. Like a top 500 player, if he goes down into bronze, do you think he's going to play exactly the same way he would play in a top 500 game?
No.
Obviously not. He would just go balls to the walls, aggressive, 1v1ing people 24/7 as Moira, you know? Like as Mercy, for example, he probably wouldn't chill here, you know? He would like, you know, keep walking and then just look for something to shoot with his pistol. And that's the thing. Obviously, like, that's very bad. But this is like the important thing. Don't try to play correctly. Don't try to follow the advice that you hear in YouTube videos, because it's not targeted at you. It just doesn't really work here. You know? If you play correctly, you are going to climb eventually, but it's such a long process. It's kind of frustrating.
Oh god, my aim is so bad.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about the aiming is that that's not something that's going to really improve a lot outside of just playing more. And by playing more, I don't mean total playtime, I mean regular playtime. So unless you can put in more hours each week, it's like the improvements aren't going to be huge. Yeah, see, this is what I mean, because you're basically like, that was just a lack of situation awareness and movement, because after he hooked you, like the fact that he didn't kill you is kind of yikes.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult for you to
I should have done a
an
crouch
impact
jump
here.
into the air like immediately.
The super jump, yeah. Okay. If you have the choice between resing your main tank and your off tank, by the way, res your main tank. It's higher value. Diva's an off tank, Orisa is a main tank, because she has like a shield. Or not a shield, because she has armor.
like
Yeah.
enough armor to frontline, you know. Winston, Reinhardt.
I'm still trying to figure out the difference between the like different types of armor.
Main tanks want to stand in the front. Off tanks want to stand behind their main tanks.
Mm-hmm.
D.Va is not a character who wants to stand in the front, but Orisa is, and Reinhardt is, and Winston is. So they are main tanks.
Mm-hmm.
And technically Hammond. Oh, a huge Echo ultimate. Massive. See, like right
Just
here, for
walk
example,
forward.
this doesn't get, like literally with Valk, just hunt. Press tab, look. First of all, I wouldn't even be on Mercy here again. Okay, let's just imagine for a second that you would be on a character that could actually do something, right? Maybe you're on Zenyatta, or you're on Ana, or you're on Moira. It doesn't really matter. You press tab, you look for whatever is killable on the enemy team, and you just hunt them down.
I like that. Okay. I remember. I think I was like, I wasn't screaming, but I was very sternly saying, "Walk forward."
Well, yeah, that's the problem, because ultimately you're okay. Here's. I'm trying to come up with a good analogy for it. You go to a farm, there's a fence, it has a sign on it that says electric fence, do not touch. But you kind of want to touch it, but you don't know if it's gonna, sting a little, or if it's going to literally knock you over, right? So you're going to be very hesitant to touching that fence. There's this little morbid curiosity, like you kind of want to touch it, but your common sense tells you, okay, probably a stupid idea, okay? But plot twist, you're not alone at the farm. You're there with 3 other friends, okay? And they're all just as scared. But then something magical happens, okay? One of the friends is drunk, and he doesn't care about risk, so he just touches the fence, okay? So he touches the fence, and he says, it buzzes a little, but it's okay. And then all of a sudden, everyone goes there and touches the fence. It's still an electric fence, and it's not healthy. And technically, their morbid curiosity has been sated, because now they know that the fence isn't like some deadly killing machine, but they still want to touch it. Okay, and now that their friend has done it, it's a lot easier for them to kind of overcome that fear. The same thing happens with your teammates here. Running forward is the equivalent of touching the electric fence. All of these nerds are scared as shit of touching the point because they think they're gonna get one shot. So what you need to do is you need to do it first. Literally, like with your ultimate, you can just fly above the point and just pistol the enemy team. Your entire team is going to follow you onto the point because they see, oh, okay, my Mercy's on the point. Apparently being on the point isn't that deadly after all. And that's how you get your teammates to move forward. You can't just sit around waiting for them to chill. You need to increase your own level of aggression in order to motivate your teammates into matching that level of aggression.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Oh my god, why?
Because right now you're a heal bot. Once your teammates have like a basic understanding of the game, which usually happens around gold or platinum, and by basic, I mean hella basic, then you can play like a little bit more correct, But the problem is your teammates at this elo, they don't give you anything to play around, which means that you need to be the playmaker.
Here we go. Go the orb. The thing is, I know that wouldn't reach. So why the hell would I?
That doesn't matter. Again, like this is kind of a shit show here anyways.
Yeah.
You just need to be annoying. You want the entire enemy team chasing after you.
Just going around left there.
Yeah, like right here, instead of going back, like keep walking, go through this room. Like if you need healing, you can either use healing orb or you can use a health pack and just try to like 1v1 people. As Moira, you actually have a surprising amount of sustain. Like, literally, I know it sounds stupid, but I'm basically asking you to play flank Moira. Not because that's how you're supposed to play her, but, like, playing like that is going to give you a better understanding of the game as a whole and how pressure works and how punishing mistakes and how space works. And once you understand those concepts, you can understand when you're at an elo where those concepts are kind of taken care of by your teammates. But in this elo, you basically have to do it yourself, Yep. Because look, you're touching the point only once someone else in your teammate has touched the point.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's already too late.
Yep.
Like, really, in this elo, you can just run around the map, go on a big flank, and throw a damage orb and right-click someone to death. And I swear to you, they're gonna be dead before they even notice what just happened.
Yeah.
And it sucks giving this advice, but unfortunately, like in low elo, honestly, pick one of like the carry supports, which is either Ana or Zenyatta. Technically Lucio, but his mechanical floor is like so high that it's going to frustrate you to death and you're gonna uninstall. But like Ana and Zen are kind of the go-to options because they are basically DPS characters. You know? So with them you can play correctly and climb. Mercy is on the opposite end. She's just going to lead to frustration.
Yep. Which is, that's, I mean, obviously I was at the point where I had gotten so frustrated that I needed to drop money on this to fix the problem.
Yeah, and I'm again, like a lot of people, like honestly, I swear to God, if you went on Overwatch University and you wrote, ioStux told me to just perma flank as Moira in bronze, you know, some people would be smart enough to say, oh yeah, actually that's kind of right. But like so many random diamond players would go, what the fuck is he talking about? I have all of these DPS Moiras in my games that are, you know, throwing my games. You know, he's creating shitty DPS Moiras. Again, like this is bronze. You need to adapt to the situation. And then
yeah, absolutely.
You're when you have an understanding for this sort of playstyle, you're gonna be able to better understand. It's like when you're in school, they teach you how to like do, you know, how to like count with your fingers and shit. No one does that when they work. It's just a learning tool, you know?
Yeah.
And once you learn the basics, you can move on to like more advanced stuff like calculators and whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And it's funny, I have purposely been avoiding Ana, just because the skill floor is a little bit higher than I sit on right now. But honestly, where am I going to drop to? I might as well just play.
That's the thing. Like, honestly, you really just need to... Again, okay, here's what I want you... Let me check if there's a YouTube video at this. I never recommend these videos, but I feel like this is like a good opportunity. What do we have? Ooh, Samito is actually doing it live.
I was watching that earlier.
But he's already in platinum. And look what character he's playing!
Well, I know he's doing support. Who's he playing right now?
Zenyatta.
Oh, no shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw him doing a lot of...
I'm skipping through it, okay? Right now, what is this? What is he playing here? Okay, he's playing Brig here for some reason. Okay, whatever. Ana. Baptiste. Zenyatta. Baptiste. Okay, here he's just calling the game dog shit.
Oh yeah, that's
again.
actually why I don't...
Zenyatta.
I mean, it's not that I don't like his stream. I'm not shitting on any streamers or anything. He's so salty.
I've never watched him. And yeah, he's a little salty. But yeah, see, like, he doesn't play that stuff. Like, look here, ML7, Ana unranked to GM. You know? Like, honestly, just watch, like, ML7 in bronze. You know?
I do love ML7.
Or wait, where did Samito start his stream? He started in gold, that's not helpful.
Yeah,
like,
and that's where all the unranked bronze that I find are starting in like silver or platinum.
Yeah, because again, it's very difficult to get down to bronze without like destroying a lot of games. Trust me.
Yeah.
Well, here's something.
Maybe I should start a service. I'll sell bronze accounts.
To GM Mercy only. Oh my god, this is going to be glorious. Oh, he's not even placed, is he? Oh yes, dude, this is good. Oh, this is some good shit. Here, this is your homework, okay? I have no idea who this is. Aqua Boost.
That was the one. That was the Mercy.
Yeah.
That I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, watch that. Literally, I've just skipped to like a random point in the video, 21:53, and right here he's chasing down a Symmetra with his pistol. Okay.
Yeah. I battle Mercy.
Again, he's a top 500 Mercy main. Do you think he's gonna do the top 500? No. No, he's not going to do that. But he doesn't give a shit because it's bronze and he knows like playing in bronze is very different. So learn the street rules and then you can, you know, learn how to play the game properly. But you're not at that point yet,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, I have some stuff that I can work on over the night. I start work in a couple hours, so that'll give me time to go be super aggressive as Ana or Moira.
Here's here, this is Lucio. I haven't watched the video, but I'm pretty sure he's like just 1v1ing people for the entire video and never being with his team. Like I
do enjoy playing Lucio a lot as well. He's one of the more fun mechanically to play.
Yeah, like I really watch these videos, and you're going to understand that the way that they play in this low ranked is like very, very different. Like here's Echo Flex. I haven't heard that name in a long time, but like again, this is Zenyatta. Yeah, have fun with that, and hopefully it's going to help you understand that, you know, you kind of need to be like a little piece of shit in low elo to climb.
Okay. Well, I will. Yeah, I'll do my homework. I'm not sure if you want to, if I should look for other VODs and stuff.
I think what I've sent you is.
Reschedule.
I think what I've sent you for now is like good enough.
Oh, I mean, like
gameplay
as I
VODs?
go through and play. Yeah.
Oh, just play the game. If you have any questions, send me a DM, and then when you feel ready for like another session, you know, if you feel like it's like your questions go beyond the scope of DMs, then you can schedule the next session. There's like no time pressure.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I don't remember how I did in this game at all, but we're gonna find out. I just picked the first loss chronologically.
Okay.
I think I was typing here.
Well, all I want to see here is you being like a nasty little fuck that annoys the shit out of the enemy team.
Yep. Oh god, why was I walking just in a perfectly straight line right there?
It's okay, you're behind your right shield, doesn't matter. Okay, you're holding down the right click. Damage orb. Good. Damage orb on cooldown. Very nice. So far, this is Darius. Where are you going? Why did you fade?
I saw the Ryan charging in, I think, but then he got slept.
You saw,
I saw someone
charging
charging
in?
I thought I saw somebody jumping in. Maybe it was the monkey.
Yeah, but do you give a shit?
No.
I mean, did you see where he was jumping? Like why do you care? Like,
That's a good point. Because this is where, because I faded out right here, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I should have just focused him because he was sitting. He was in a terrible spot. He had no way to get out. He was surrounded by 3 of us.
Yeah, I mean, he does that, but that was just really panicky, you know?
Yeah.
And look what happens. Like, now your team dies because you're on the other end of the map. Like, you kind of just ditch them, you know? And then the other thing that confused me is, why didn't you immediately, like, after you fade, why didn't you immediately start walking forwards again?
That's a good. Again, this is the slow decision making that I'm talking about, right? Like, I realized that there was no real threat.
No, there isn't. That's the thing. There's no decision to be made here.
Mm-hmm.
You fell back, but then you immediately start walking forward again, unless there's a reason for you not to. Like, your default playstyle right now should be aggression.
Yeah.
But
Would you recommend Chicken Nugget, the sim, is low health, right? Would you have recommended me stay back
I mean,
and heal her?
look where she's standing. Like, who's gonna kill her? Like, she's on the other end of the map. She doesn't need the healing.
That's a good point.
These people need healing.
Uh-huh.
No one's healing them. The Ana is cut
that's
off.
actually a good note. Like, healing priority is important as well, right? And I know that like healing squishies is important if they're getting focused on, right? But when your tanks are at the front of the fight, obviously they're the healing priority.
If someone is standing in the front, they're gonna get shit on. You need to heal them. But again, this isn't even about that. As Mara, you just don't want to sit in the back like this. When you fade to the back, you should immediately try to like get back forward. The only reason you faded to the back in the first place is because you were feeling unsafe. The real correct move would have been, okay, so the correct move would have been to not fade at all, okay? But let's say that your keyboard glitches out and it fades automatically, right? So what would have been like the least shit place to fade to, right? And the answer to that is not fucking all the way back here. the answer would have been, you know, over here.
Into this, and this is me not knowing this map super well, because I am always afraid to go into the mines store, right? I know they can pop. I know the door. You can't see my screen, but the door where their tank is right now is not connected here, but it's connected around the back. So yeah. So I should have faded into that building towards the health pack.
Because you're still safe here because you're with your team.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing for you to worry about.
Yeah.
But right here, you're not with your team. Like, as Moira, you're literally the furthest back from your entire team.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And then here, did you see how long it took me to figure out that they needed healing?
Well, it doesn't matter how quickly you notice that they need healing if you're not in a position to heal them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they need healing right now already. When tanks aren't
just
full
to keep
HP,
their armor up,
they need healing, exactly. So with a tank, like a tank never dies because you didn't react quickly enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes with a squishy, because they have very low HP, sometimes they die so fast, you can't react. But a tank never dies because you don't react fast enough. The only reason a tank dies is if you didn't heal them soon enough. If you thought, oh, well, you know, they didn't take that much damage, I guess I can just ignore them. Tanks only die when you ignore them. It doesn't have anything to do with reaction time.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think they both get melted here. I don't think this... Oh, I guess she does. That wasn't because of me, though. I remember...
But yeah. Oh my god, what the fuck is this general chat? Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh my god! Why is the E capital?
do you have...
What is this? Randomly, some of my letters...
Do you have caps lock on? What's happening?
I don't know. This was so weird. Okay. Maybe I have diabetes or something and my limbs are shutting down. Okay. But what is this fade? Like...
That's another thing. I faded to be aggressive with an entire army behind me.
I mean, you faded because you tried saving Diana, but like, this is kind of a suicide. Like, there's nothing you can do for her, you know, fuck her. Like, this is over already. Your main tank died. What are you supposed to do here? Like, right now you're in damage control mode. Just farm as much ult charge as you can. And like, stall, you know?
Yeah.
Like, make sure that you stay alive. The problem with the fade towards Diana is that you are valuing her life more than your life.
Yeah.
You want to farm ultimate. So yeah, again, like this fade is like, your fades are really awkward. Like, the timing is fine, but where are you fading to, you know?
Sure, in this case.
You're literally fading into the enemy team.
Fuck.
And for some reason you're not dead. God knows why. Now you're finally dead. You know, maybe if you would have like had your ultimate, then you would have been able to use your ultimate to like turn this team fight around. If this was high elo, like this would have been over like a long time ago. Ulti, huge ulti.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. But
I shouldn't have ulted here either.
No,
right?
the ultimate
like,
is okay. No, it's okay. Don't worry. Like, this is low elo. So in high elo, obviously, this fight would have been lost. But like in low elo, going for a Hail Mary ultimate like that is good. Because you can get away with a lot of stuff. Like, it's called limit testing, you know, just going for stuff that has like a small chance. Right there, why you heal orbed is a mystery. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So like, this is a lot more aggressive than before. But like, it's like the first 10 seconds of this VOD were really good. But like, so far, you haven't been able to go back. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? Why are you healing him?
No idea. I should be healing the tank.
No, you should be healing anyone. You have damage orb.
Mm-hmm.
That orb needs to go away. The orb has HIV. It's a hot potato. Throw it away. But your orb becomes available and you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to turn around and I'm going to heal this soldier who's literally fucking around back here instead of my Reinhardt who almost lost his armor and throwing my orb into the enemy team. Like, priorities. You still haven't thrown your orb. There you finally throw it, you know?
A bad throw too.
And then you like fade towards the other end of the end again. Like, you can fade and like literally just fade in place sometimes, you know? Like, just go to the nearest piece of cover. Damage orb! Oh my god, like, that needs to be like uncool. Like, I mentioned before that in order to improve, you always need to focus on one thing at a time, right?
Yep.
Just focus on like throwing damage orbs on cooldown. And then you can focus on like fading to a location that's safe without fading, you know, to a different game. You know, like you don't want to fade in Overwatch and then end up in Apex.
Yep.
Okay. Orb in 3 seconds. Like this is literally how you improve. Like orb in 2 seconds. Orb in 1 second. Okay. Orb, 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 orb. Press the fucking orb! Oh my god. And then like you fade behind the enemy team. It's a tool to like what did this fade accomplish? That's what confuses me. What were you trying to do with this fade?
I was hoping to get behind the Lucio and just like focus him hard.
But that's
right?
not but do you need to be behind him? Why can't you just be here? Throw your damage orb and right click him. And then if you get low HP, you can use Fade to get out. Fade is not an aggressive ability. It's not used to strategically reposition during a team fight. Fade is literally the button you press when your pants start to smell like shit. That's the only purpose the ability has. Everything else is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Oi. Also, the last session, I used my shit mic, right?
I don't remember.
I think I did.
I know that I sounded like shit until I got my setup fixed.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I did use my shit mic there. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, and
But,
I
mean, you're literally flanking the enemy team because you faded behind them. I mean, like, it's good, you know? Like, this is limit testing, you kind of fucked up your orb, but this is, like, a little extreme, you know? And then, again, you fade towards the enemy team.
Yeah. Well, I just knew I needed to get back to my team. I was like, okay, maybe they're not there.
No, you don't need to get back to your team, you need to get the fuck away from the enemy team.
Okay. So do you think it would have been better to not use my ult and just jump off?
What do you mean ult? You don't have your ult.
I had when I popped the ult earlier to kill this Sigma. They've already regrouped, right?
Well, yeah. No, the ultimate is fine. I'm not talking about the ult. I'm talking about the fact that, like, right here, you're stuck behind the enemy team. And instead of fading away from them, you fade towards them. Like, why not fade in this direction away from them? And then maybe you can walk through here and then regroup with your team that way.
That's a great question.
Why do you... I mean, just take a second to, like... Okay, just look at this, please. How does this make sense? You're asking to be sandwiched.
Yep.
Like, I like the aggression, but you need to like, the aggression is okay, but using your fade aggressively is not okay. And then when you use your fade defensively, you either go into the enemy team or you go, like, away from your team. You know, you want to fade towards cover and your team, but like still close to the enemy team so you're useful. You know?
Mm-hmm.
This is okay. Damage orb, damage orb, damage orb. Very nice. See? Very good. Okay, your aim here is a little Parkinson's, but it's okay.
Unlucky sleep.
It's okay. Even Bronze Honest, why did you fade? See, but like, look, now you get the mindset. You saw that and you're like, why did I fade? And that's
I think
good.
I said, why did I fade when I was playing the game too? I was like, why the fuck did I just do that?
Exactly. And like, as long as you do that, it's okay. Right there, you waited too long. Like, that fade is okay, so you don't get frozen by me. That's good. And look, like, the good thing is you're charging your ultimate so much faster. Now you just need to get rid, like, this does not look like bronze gameplay anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, this is good enough to climb, but not good enough to be proud of, you know? We need to fix the random ass fades. Like, right here, where are you going? Why are you back here now?
I think it's funny. I've been playing a lot of Ana, and I think since I'm just, I'm rewiring a ton of synapses right now. My goal was to get back so I could see everything, right?
No, don't do that. You need to be able to, like, your vision needs to be separate from your situational awareness.
Yeah.
At high levels of play, the game is so fast paced that for most characters, you actually gain most of your situational awareness through sound. Like, you locate where your teammates are based on where you hear them, not where you see them. Like right here, tactical visor activated. I know that that is like forward right somewhere, just like off the sound, you know?
Yep.
I mean, okay, you can't hear that because of the screen share, but you get the... Why was that a healing orb? You're so... I mean, okay, whatever, it's okay. You have ultimate anyways. Yeah, again, look where you're positioned. These people
I see.
need healing.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't heal them because they're antied, so it wouldn't have made a difference, but still, at least you want to be
you
in a
know,
position
I
where...
I didn't realize that they were antied, right?
Exactly, like just... Okay. Damage orb. Just mesh E, you know. Even
Yeah.
if you don't know whether you have it, if you're looking at an enemy, just spam E. Again, that fade, I mean, it's not like bad, but just awkward.
Yeah.
That's how I can summarize this entire game. It's awkward.
Yep. I was just playing a game on ilios as well, and I almost just like exited Overwatch as I faded backwards. Thought I heard someone behind me, so I pressed left right into the hole.
See, this is good. Nice ultimate. You know, you're saving your teammates. You used it very early. Like, that was a very high value ultimate. Very good. And then you immediately throw out the damage orb so you can get your ultimate back, but you're not within healing range of the diva. So you need to use the fade to go in. Like, you tried to fade towards the diva. Did you see that? Do you think standing here without fade would be smart? Fade is what allows you to stand in unsafe positions. But using fade to get into unsafe positions is hella pepega. Okay?
Is what? It's what?
Pepega, it's like a Twitch emote. It's
Okay.
See, this is the problem, man, with these sessions. I can't use the R word anymore, but it's basically like the modern version of the R word, you know?
Yeah.
So, yes.
I mean, you can say whatever you like around me. I mean, it doesn't bother me much.
Oh, yeah, but, you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're a public figure. I get it.
It's just, being in esports teaches you to be careful about what you say.
Yeah. And then, the fucking wall. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's okay. Whatever. Damage orb, good. See, like, that's the thing. There's so much good stuff here. Like, compared to the last VOD I looked at of yours, the last, like, session, this is like, I mean, this fade again was...
Yeah. I can tell you what I was thinking right there. I was like, okay, I know the Mei is to my back left. I can definitely pressure the Sigma. I don't know
but
if
you use your shift aggressively.
Yeah.
This is not a case of like you should use your fade defensively 99% of your time. You should use your fade defensively 100% of the time right now. I literally never want to see you fade towards an enemy. Not once. And during this game, you've done it like 7 times already.
Yep. And most of the time that I die is because of that.
Do you really want to
general.
stand here without fade?
Nope.
With fade, this position is okay. A little cocky, but okay, because you can fade back. Without fade, this position is brainless.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 6360. And then, yeah, okay. Why ult? Look at the kill feed. Your Hanzo got like 2 kills. Who are you ulting? See, it's just these like very small obvious mistakes, but they're easy to fix. Just focus on them. And I mean focus exclusively. Focus on damage orbs on cooldown. Focus on ulting, like thinking before you ult. It's okay if you ult. Like no one ever loses a team fight in bronze because they ult 1 second too late. So take that second to think about whether you actually need it. You know? Speed comes with time. At the start, you need to think about your decisions. Over time, that thinking becomes faster until you can do it almost instantly. Damage orb, 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 damage. Thank you. See, you like good aggression. I like it. Okay, see, that fade was reasonable. That healing orb was reasonable as well because Diva was out of range. Although, again, like it doesn't make a difference because you can't help her. Do not use your fade wrongly. They're a little panicky, but it's okay. The healing orb was also panicky. See, like, now you're in panic mode. Just keep your calm. That fade was okay to like try and heal the Ryan, but this fight is kind of over. Because we did kind of waste our ultimate in the last team fight. If only we had Coalescence there, that probably could have helped a little. And then the enemy team uses like fucking the entire US arsenal to win that team fight. The USB port on my keyboard is so wobbly, it's insane.
Switched to a mini keyboard and lost my USB ports, man. It's very sad.
I hate micro USB. I do not understand why that port still exists. Just use USB-C.
Yep.
Damage orb, damage orb. Thank you. Nice fade. See, because right now you're getting snowballed.
Yep.
Okay, like
Feel
this
the run,
ultimate
feel
is
the run.
okay. This ultimate is good. I like it. See, like right now, there's like a 50-50 split. You know, half your fades are good, half your fades are shit. Half your orbs are good, half your orbs are shit. Half your ultimates are good, half your ultimates... Like, that's the problem. Needs to be a little higher than 50%. If you want to climb. Okay, see, like, the damage orbs are really nice. Like, overall, the aggression, again, could be higher. But the problem is you fade into the enemy team and then you die and then your brain goes, oh no, I died because I was too aggressive. No, you died because you were too aggressive without fade. As long as you have fade, you can literally smell their farts and you're not going to die. Your positioning as Moira is irrelevant as long as you have fade because you can get away with anything. You're not going to die, like ever, unless you don't press it fast enough.
And I just jump onto the fire.
Yeah, I mean, the team fight was over anyways, like your entire team was dead before you died, so it doesn't make a difference. Why fade? Why fade? Whenever you press fade, you basically just tell yourself, okay, guess I'm gonna be useless for the next 6 seconds because when I make one wrong positioning, when I make one wrong step, I'm gonna die. In high elo, Moira fade gets called out. Like when Moira uses fade, the other team calls it, and you're gonna get blown up in like 2 seconds. You know that, right?
Yeah.
In low elo, that doesn't even happen.
I need to add like a shock collar to myself that shocks whenever I hit shift.
I mean, no, that's not how that works because then you would have like negative reinforcement for every single fade, and it's not like every single fade is bad, you know? Then you're just not going to press fade, and that's not what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Good ultimate. See, I like it. Nice and aggressive. Like, again, this is better than bronze, you know? Like, this gameplay, if you just stop... Like, honestly, your biggest issue so far is your, like, the fade thingy. If you fix the fade problem, like, that's probably enough to get you to, like, maybe... Like, mid-plat, I would say. And then to get past that, that's when you need to kind of start to fix the ultimate and the orb. But like so far, like you're already playing like a plat player who just randomly feeds with this shift.
Yeah.
That's basically what this game plays. So fix the shift shit first. Like learn how to position aggressively when you have your fade. Learn to use your fade when you're out of position and you need to save yourself. And learn to fade to locations that give you a nice mix between, you know, not dying and not being useless.
Yeah.
Again, look at the fade.
Mm-hmm.
You're fading into the enemy team. Whenever you do that, that should tell you, okay, I overslept. I should have been this far forward to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, now you're like in the middle of everything and then you don't have fade and you die.
Yep.
If you die immediately after using fade, you know you fucked up. That literally is something that can never happen.
Yeah.
It's not an unavoidable mistake. It's always avoidable. You're always responsible for it. Yeah, again, like the damage orbs are good, the ult charge is good. See, like right here, you're very, very, very close. Like if you didn't die, you probably would have gotten your ultimate in 1 minute. And like 1 minute is kind of your goal as Moira when it comes to charging ultimate.
Yeah.
Like look, after 1 minute, you're at 94%. So if you didn't die, you would have gotten one more Orban.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Right,
probably
like-
gonna save this diva that's about to get
See,
demaxed.
there we go. See, 1 minute, 5 seconds. That is such a good pace from Moira in solo queue. You can get it faster in like more organized play because everyone is standing together. But like this is really, really solid in terms of tempo. You know, and then you can use it. And like look at the top of the screen. Do you see how almost no one has their ultimate yet? Like look how far ahead you are of every single teammate.
Yep.
That's how it should be. That's how you climb. That's how you make yourself, you know, how you make a difference. But it's not enough, but it's okay. Because maybe, you know, if you had your ultimate a little sooner, and if your Mercy didn't have to waste her shit on you, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right, because she didn't have res at that point. She probably
Yeah.
could have.
Yeah, again, the orbs are good. Right here, you're standing a little far back again. You need to adjust your positioning based on the person who's like furthest forward, and then look, why did you fade in again?
I don't know, and I yeeted the ball off into space.
Yeah, but the fade is the problem, not the ball. Like missing a ball happens. Your Reinhardt just lands a 3-man shatter and you fade. What are these fades? Hello, my name is Karajet. I have 180 HP. The entire team is on the ground, and for some fucking reason I press shift. Why heal orb? You could have just killed the Mercy, you know? Just damage orb right click. Like you do see how, you know, she's like in kind of a shit situation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like you're lucky like that fire strike connected, and then you're dead. I have no idea why you didn't fade. Dying while you have fade available is always unacceptable. And then Mercy needs to use another res on you. That's not great. Damage orb. Damage orb. Why heal orb? He has so much HP. You have so much healing juice. He was right in front of you. Don't heal orb people when you can left click them. And if they take so much damage that your left click healing isn't enough, they're probably gonna die anyways, whether you orb or not. So might as well take the ult charge of the damage orb with you.
Yeah.
Why heal orb? Just heal them with your left click. See, like your gameplay, it starts like your gameplay has been getting progressively worse as like we watch this replay. Like the first 10 seconds were good, and then it was all downhill from there. Like this game is like puberty. It's insane. Damage orb. Don't be AFK on card. See, like at the start you were throwing out damage orb and cooldown, and then now you just sat around on card doing nothing. So right here, you do realize that this is not like within range, right?
I know that, yes. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I have an issue figuring out exactly where the range is, but I knew it at that point that it was.
I mean, you have your fade. It doesn't matter what the range is. You can get however close you want.
Yeah.
Like your team is up there. What stops you from literally standing here? You would definitely be in range here, right?
Yep.
So why are you playing safe here in the first place? You have fade. When you have fade, you can position however the fuck you want.
Mm-hmm.
And that ultimate is okay. You see, you're lasering them down. This is nice. Nice damage orb. You have your shift, so you can be aggressive. Why do you Oh my god. It sounds
I
like
didn't
I'm
know where the-
tilted. I'm not tilted. I'm like just disappointed, you know?
Yeah, I was about to say you're like a
This
disappointed
is like
dad.
there's so much good here and so much shit. You know? It's like you're the type of person that like brushes his teeth every day and uses dental floss and mouthwash, but also drinks nothing but Coca-Cola and eats candy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's what this gameplay is. It's like, yes, there's a lot of good, but it doesn't matter if there's this much bad.
Yeah. In this, we were toast. This, I don't know why I just decided that I'm gonna stare at this this was stupid. I knew it at the time. I was like, how the fuck do I get out of this situation? And I know that it doesn't damage it. I'm aware of that.
I mean, again, I love this position. Like, this is the most bronze Moira position imaginable, and I mean that as a compliment. And look, you were in an aggressive position. You were being an annoying little piece of shit to the enemy team, so they were all looking at you and not at your teammates. You got ult charge out of that, and then when you took damage, you faded out. That's perfect. This is perfect. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting. I mean, yeah, that was there was no way that you could like react to that. That was kind of unfortunate. I think the Mei landed like a headshot on you, and then the fire strike connected at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, yeah, using your fade to get back from spawn faster is one exception, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah.
Damage orb, where are you waiting? Just throw it out. Yeah, get out, get out, get out. Regroup with your team. Just throw out damage orbs and wait until your teammates respawn. Damage orb, damage orb. No, damage orb. Damage orb. Why heal orb? Just let your
Yeah,
other
that's terrible.
support, just let your mercy heal you. Why waste orb? You know, you can like, it doesn't matter, you're gonna get your ultimate with the next orb anyways, but the sooner the better, you know? And then you're getting shit on. I mean, did you give your mercy time to heal you? Okay, for some reason your mercy isn't healing you to full HP. That's unfortunate. When something like that happens, just spam X as hard as you can. Like, she should have healed you. That's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
But sometimes in low elo, like, they heal you a little, and then they're like, ah, that's good enough, and then they go to the next target.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have your ultimate here. For some reason, there's a Reinhardt behind you. Damage orb. Or healing orb, I guess this is okay. Go, huge ulti. Very nice. Pew pew pew. Okay, yeah, at this point you guys are getting kind of snowballed. But your team has like 4 ultimates this team fight, maybe 5. So if you guys lose this next team fight, that's gonna be kind of unfortunate. Okay, your Junkrat is dead. Go Mercy, res the junk. Where did junk die? Why are you pistoling? Oh, there's the... Oh my god, she misses the res. No! He has 98% ult charge! That's a tragedy right there. This is a bronze strategy. Your junk has his ultimate. Round is about to end. And he has to run back from spawn because he couldn't get res. Okay, but your team is doing it. Go Junkrat, carry your team. Ah, so good. Okay, let's go back to you.
Why did I fade sideways?
How do you guys lose this fight? That's what I'm wondering. Oh, you want to like dodge the pin, I guess. Okay, yeah, your team got kind of shit on. Yeah, I mean, again, like this wasn't like super duper terrible, you know? This was like compared to the last one, ay. Compared to the last one, that one was, you know, quite something.
Yeah.
This was endurable. But yeah.
Yeah, so I mean the things that I was saying before kind of line up with what you were saying. Like, when do I get the hell out of Dodge? Your point is more how I choose to get the hell out of Dodge, which is just don't fade into a fight. Period. And then deciding when to use healing versus damage orbs. Like if they're too far away and it looks like the orb will get to them in time, throw the orb, right? Otherwise, they're toast. There's not really much I can do. I need to lean on Mercy, who has a longer healing range.
So, can you? I'm sorry. My mind just blanked because I got a notification sound and I didn't know where it was coming from. Can you repeat that?
So what I was saying before, and like kind of matches up with what you were saying, which is like I was saying that I didn't know when to like play aggressive or when to just get the hell out, and you're saying that like I'm not giving myself options to get the hell out because I'm using my fade too early.
Yeah,
and that's the same with like healing orbs. It seems like at least in this elo, the time to use it when I don't have my ult charged all the way up is almost never, right? If I can't reach them and I think the orb will reach them in time, then use it. Otherwise,
yeah.
damage orb, damage orb, damage orb.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll start paying attention to how quickly I'm getting my ult. And then just like last time, after we had our coaching session last time, I went up to like 56% win rate, maybe 60% win rate for the rest of the night.
That's good.
Yeah, and then of course the next day it dropped back down to like 49 again. But I think that's going to happen, and I'm on an upward trajectory. I think the more we do these,
I mean,
the more...
looking at the gameplay, of course, like definitely. The most fun part of this is that like I recorded your last session, you know, and but I didn't upload it yet, and now I also have your second session, so it's like I think I might just like stitch them both together. You know.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah, I would love to see that.
Interesting for people because they can like immediately see the difference in gameplay.
Yeah. Well, shit, I'm getting blasted up. Sorry. No, I did not want to join your groups. Okay.
I mean, yeah, like honestly, I don't really have much more to add here. So.
And I'm going through your Bronze to Overwatch League series, and I think the thing that has improved my mental state the most is just permanently turning off chat, voice and text, right?
Yeah, I mean you're in bronze, so good idea.
Yeah, I mean even when they were like everyone was in a good mood and polite, right? They weren't saying anything a ton of value. This way, I don't have to have my mic anywhere near me, and I can really just focus. And if anything, maybe it didn't raise my win rate, but it certainly made me a lot happier.
Happiness will lead to improvement, which will lead to a higher win rate. So all works out.
Yeah. I don't remember when we started or how much time we have left, but I'm not sure if I had any other huge questions to ask you. I think as I go forward, as like I play, I'll probably book the next one for like the week after this. As I play throughout the week, I'll come up with questions and stuff, and we'll see. Yeah.
Okay. Then I guess I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. It's always a pleasure. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna spend some time researching coffee machines.
Let me know where you land. Maybe I'll get one for the wife.
Don't. Don't even get into it. It's a black hole that's gonna suck you in.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Good
I
luck.
appreciate it.
Have a
Don't be
good
a
one.
stranger.
See ya.